Motac on Money continues here in 790 KABC. Many families facing unintended tax burdens because of Prop 19. The effort to repeal the Prop 19 death tax picking up steam now. That onerous death tax surprised taxpayers when it kicked in after Prop 19 was passed back in November of 2020, causing all sorts of headaches. With us now, L.A. County Property Assessor Jeffrey Prang. Jeffrey Prang, thank you very much for taking the call live with us here. Tell us about the heartbreaking situations you've seen here with Prop 19 and your view of the situation here.
Well, thank you, Frank. I appreciate the opportunity to speak about this. So Prop 19 may have been a well-intended ballot measure, but like a lot of other ballot measures, it had some unintended consequences. Prop 19 did two things. The first thing it did is allowed seniors, the disabled, victims of natural disaster, to make their property tax base portable. So if you bought your home in 1990, under Prop 19, you can now transfer that tax base when you move up to 3 times. You can transfer it anywhere in the state into a home of any value. So there are some real tax advantages with that program that will be beneficial to, particularly to those who are 55 and older. However, that has a negative impact on government revenue. So the way they paid for it, the reduction of revenue, is they reduced inheritance benefits for families. So if you have children, in some cases grandchildren, who you want to inherit your property, they can still inherit it, but the property tax benefits that existed for over 40 years have now been slashed. And in some cases, your children may end up having to pay a great deal more in taxes to inherit the family home, which may make that home affordable or not affordable. And it could be that they're inheriting, for example, an apartment building, that apartment building is going to be reassessed to market value, and all the tenants may end up seeing increases in rent. So there are some real serious consequences that Prop 19 didn't do a very good job of explaining to the voters when it was adopted.
Certainly not, and nobody expected this part of it. So what needs to be done about it? And this deadline's coming up here, right, for gathering petition signatures to repeal this thing.
Very soon. But there's actually another component I wanted to mention to you. So ballot measures notoriously have drafting errors. They're not written with the precision that they need to. Prop 19 was no different. The problem with Prop 19 is it was adopted in November of 2020, and it was required to be implemented just over 2 months later, which was an absolutely impossible task for the 58 county assessors and the Board of Equalization to implement sweeping changes to the property administrative system. Required technological changes, workflow issues, personnel issues. It was a rather monstrous task. We probably needed 12 to 18 months to do it. They gave us 2, and we didn't have clarifying legislation in order to clear up the ambiguities and the contradictions in the law. So what's happening now is that if you filed for Prop 19 last spring or summer, in most cases your application has not been yet processed, and you could be subject to a supplemental tax bill for the higher value of the home that you're purchasing. It's not the fault of taxpayers; they shouldn't be imposed with those fees. But this is the problem that the legislature gave us when they wrote a bill that wasn't complete. So there's all types of problems with it. Not only the structural issue with the family inheritance, but also the systemic problems with the administration. So the deadline for qualifying for the repeal of that component of Prop 18 that deals with the parent-to-child transfers, that's coming up very soon, I think in the next couple of days. And I don't know what the status is of the signature gathering, but I think a lot of folks who voted for Prop 19 would have thought twice if they realized it was going to have such an impact on their
Certainly.
family.
L.A. County Property Assessor Jeffrey Prang, thank you very much for joining us. Repeal the death tax for those who are interested in signing that petition organized by the Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association here in California. We wish everyone a great holiday weekend. This is Motac on Money on 790 KABC.